Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. In just a moment, we'll be continuing with an ALICE training session. But before we begin today, I want to take a moment to address a few things. Today's training is not meant to frighten you or put you on high alert, but rather to inform and allow you to be prepared. Our goal and purpose in training all staff and students is to increase survivability rates should we be faced with an emergency situation here at Spectrum. In addition to mentioning our purpose, I also feel it is important to point out that we need each and every staff member and student to be active observers each and every day. We are a team and are so much stronger when we work together. Therefore, let me share with you that it is never inappropriate to express a concern with a teacher, administrator, staff member, or parent. Students, we need you. You see and hear so much more than we do as the school staff because there are so many more of you than there are us. I implore you to please keep your eyes and ears open. Homeland Security saying is, if you see something, say something. Please allow this code to become part of what you do on a daily basis. As we've mentioned in previous trainings, here are just a couple of basic safety rules and recommendations we would like to have your support with. First, never open outside doors for anyone, including other students. All visitors and students must check in at the front office upon entering Spectrum High School. Secondly, if you happen to run across an adult in the hallway who isn't familiar and does not have a visitor's name tag, please report them to the nearest staff member. Thank you in advance for your support. After a quick review of the ALICE framework today, students and teachers will be presented with different scenarios involving potential threats or intruders. Classrooms will then collaborate using the ALICE components to make an informed decision. It is important to review what ALICE is and what it does for our school. ALICE provides response options and training for all students and staff within our schools on how to respond during emergency situations that involve an active threat. As a reminder, we choose to use the ALICE framework here at Spectrum because it is a system that empowers everyone to make life-saving decisions. Please remember, ALICE is not a complete procedure, but is a set of general recommendations that has to be fit to each building and to each grade level. This means that in many circumstances, there is simply no right or wrong answer. The important thing to remember is to do something. If you have questions during the session today, your teacher may choose to either pause this video and address your questions during the presentation, or they may have you write your questions down and answer them as a trained staff member at the end. Please remember that not all questions you think of or pose today can be answered. It's important to remember that ALICE simply provides options for individuals and groups who encounter a threatening situation. If questions remain unanswered at the end of the presentation today, please feel free to stop in and see me anytime to discuss. Let's review what the different components of the ALICE framework are. Please take a moment to discuss what each letter within the ALICE acronym stands for with your teacher. Teachers, please pause the video now. Did you remember all of them? ALICE stands for Alert, Lockdown, inform, counter, and evacuate. Remember, it is important to know that these components of the ALICE framework do not follow any particular order. For instance, you may be in a situation where you would evacuate the building before barricading. Of course, this decision would be based upon the real-time information you have been provided with in any given situation. Again, the purpose of implementing ALICE is to empower people to do something and to make a decision that could save lives. Alert is the first phase of the ALICE system. When it has been determined that an emergency situation exists, it is likely you will hear our panic alarm sound. Besides the panic alarm, together we must work to try to communicate by whatever means possible. This might include phone, email, or even social media. If a threat exists, it should always result in the alert phase. As you know, if barricading our classroom doors, Spectrum staff members have been trained to utilize a door locking device known as the Barracuda. This device makes it nearly impossible for anyone to gain entry to the room. Along with utilizing this device, it is important to review a few other components of the lockdown phase of the system. Once the door is barricaded, it's important for people in the room to move as far away from the line of sight from the door's window as they can. Desks, tables, chairs, and other furniture can be used as a secondary barricade if necessary. Once barricading the door is complete, it is important to think about and locate alternative escape routes. This might include windows or doors to the outside of the building. Please note that there may not be alternative escape routes in rooms that don't have windows or doors to the outside. It's also important to note that the door should not be open for anyone until the all clear has been given. If it is safe to do so during the emergency situation, a call to 911 should be made. Our goal with the Inform component of the ALICE system is to get as much information out to everyone as quickly as we can. We have designated individuals who are responsible for communicating with all of you through the intercom system as well as through email and phones. Of course, this is all subject to whether it is safe for individuals to follow through with these tasks or not. This aspect is extremely important as it allows people to make informed decisions about what to do next during an emergency situation. It is important to mention that countering does not necessarily mean fighting back, but instead taking back control. However, if you are face to face with an intruder, you are encouraged to do whatever is necessary in order to protect yourself and survive the situation. It is also imperative to stress that this is a strategy of last resort, only to be used if you are face to face with the intruder without an escape option. Once you've obtained information that allows you to make the decision to evacuate, it is always the preferred option. As we've stressed before, you all must have the authority to leave the building during an active intruder event, and we are giving you that authority. Once you've exited the building, you should run in a zigzagged fashion with nothing in your hands, as law enforcement officers will be looking for individuals with potential weapons of any kind. When evacuating, if it is safe to do so, make your way to either Spectrum's 6th grade building, gymnasium, or the Home Depot parking lot. If you cannot safely make your way in either of these directions, get as far away from the building as possible in whatever direction you can. We will work to locate you along with law enforcement once the situation is under control. The purpose of today's scenario training is to provoke thought, improve your understanding of the ALICE framework, and increase our preparedness as a school. Once again, we will be presenting you with specific scenarios that will require you to make a decision. We will give you a few minutes to deliberate as a class and discuss. Teachers should then lead the discussion and ultimately will make the final decision. Some things to note. Number 1, there is no right or wrong answer. Number 2, think realistically about what your actions might lead to. You are encouraged to make predictions based upon the information given. And number 3, decide to act. Please keep in mind that in the event of a real emergency, the chances of the alarm sounding are very good. Anytime the alarm is sounded, it should be met with immediate action and taken seriously. Please note that when our panic alarm is sounded, it will run for a duration of 1 minute and then stop. This does not mean the situation has been resolved. When the situation is resolved and safe, the all clear will be given over the intercom system. At that time, you will hear, "Sting all clear, sting all clear." We will now start with the first of 6 scenarios. Again, once presented with a scenario, please deliberate and discuss as a class. Some scenarios also include a map to help with your decision making. Scenario number 1. The panic alarm sounds. You are located in your current room. There is no communication given over the intercom system. What should you do? Take 1 to 2 minutes for deliberation. Teachers, please pause the video now. Moving on. Scenario number 2. The panic alarm sounds. You are located in your current classroom. Your teacher installs the Barracuda device, securing your classroom door. You then receive information over the intercom system that there is an intruder with a weapon outside the main entrance, door number 1, trying to gain access to the building. What are your next steps? Take 1 to 2 minutes for deliberation. Teachers, please pause the video now. Scenario number 3. The panic alarm sounds. You are located in your current classroom. Your teacher installs the Barracuda device, securing your classroom door. You then receive information over the intercom system that there is an armed intruder who has entered the building and is making his or her way up the north stairwell near door number 2. What do you do? Take 1 to 2 minutes for deliberation. Teachers, please pause the video now. Scenario number 4. You are located in the cafeteria during your lunch period, or you are in the hallway during passing time. The panic alarm sounds. What do you do? Take 1 to 2 minutes for deliberation. Teachers, please pause the video now. Moving on. Scenario number 5. The panic alarm sounds. Students, you are alone and located in the student bathroom on the 2nd floor. What do you do? Take 1 to 2 minutes for deliberation. Teachers, please pause the video now. Finally, scenario number 6. The panic alarm sounds. You are located in your current classroom. Your teacher installs the Barracuda device, securing your classroom door. You then receive information over the intercom system that there is an armed intruder who has entered the building and is located in the cafeteria and headed toward the north downstairs hallway. What do you do? Take 1 to 2 minutes for deliberation. Teachers, please pause the video now. This concludes our scenario-based training for today. In any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing, the next thing is the wrong thing, and the worst thing you can do is nothing. Remember, the ALICE framework empowers you to do something and to make a decision that could save lives. No matter what the decisions were that you, your classmates, and teachers made today, the important thing is that you decided to act. I want to thank you for your participation and attentiveness today and remind you that we must all continue to rely on each other and do our part here at Spectrum in helping maintain a safe environment. Remember, if you see something, say something. Thank you again, and have a great rest of the day.